Hi guys, and welcome back to my channel, The Journey to Justice. On page 4 of 32, I'm just going to discuss and have my opinion about some things that are on this, like from 23 down on page 4. As we finish up from, the 27th to the 29th, they're still going over those few days. They are talking about Leticia lying multiple occasions, unexplained abnormal behavior such as rental cars or a rental car on the 28th, plus disconnecting her mobile phone with the cellular network for a period of time. The false reporting on an alleged rape, abnormal patterns of travel, and her evolving story, and material changes in facts and circumstances. And they say she has since left the state of Colorado. It doesn't say what day she had left Colorado, because at this time she may have left and returned and left again, but not quite sure. So we're not quite sure on the dates that she left, because she had another rental when she talked to Spencer, and she handed that one back in, or somebody did, on the 1st of February. But when she did talk to Spencer on the 31st, where did they go from there? Did they stay at a hotel nearby? Who drove the vehicles on her way back to, say, Florida? She stopped in Florida, or she went straight to Carolina. Either way, somebody went to Florida at some point, and the investigators have narrowed them dates down from the 3rd to the 5th, around those few days of February 2020. So they find out that T has left the state, which I'm not sure if they told her not to leave the state of Colorado. I'm not sure if they could stop her leaving the state of Colorado. T says they took her passport, which may be true, so she doesn't leave the country, but that doesn't mean she could not leave the state. which apparently she left the state. And they consider that a run to escape, to get away, to not face the music, to not cooperate, all kinds of manner of things. And they outline sections of the investigators, because there's several investigators on this case from different states. And they outline, you know, the 27th. And they just repeat themselves again, that they believe that he was murdered by Leticia in the afternoon hours. And they say approximately 14 hours. But as we know, that can't be true, because she hadn't got in the door yet. She hadn't got out of her truck yet. If we are going by the video of the neighbor, which says 20 after 2. On the 27th of January 2020. And they do say, more important, that they are narrowing it down in Gannon's bedroom with physical evidence recovered. And this evidence they have supports a violent event occurred in his bedroom, which caused bloodshed, blood splatter on the walls. And they also said there was enough blood loss to stain his mattress, soak through the carpet and the carpet pad, and stain the concrete below that. So they say, based on evidence recovered, they say Gannon's remains were eventually brought through the house into the garage, and likely, now they say likely, loaded into the back of Leticia's Volkswagen Tiguan. Or Tiguan, how you want to say it. After cleaning the murder scene. They then say she transported and dumped Gannon's remains on the evening of January the 28th, 2020. Which we think that's how it must have happened. Because how else would she get Gannon out of that house? If he came home, he had to be taken out of the house at some point. And this is why her vehicle was backed into the garage. Now, I don't know if this is unusual for Leticia T to back her vehicle into the garage, or she leaves it outside the garage, or she just pulls it in. We don't know if that's her usual way of coming into the garage. Now me, I would probably just pull in, but some people like to back in places all the time. They find it easier, and some people don't. So is that her normal way? But she got him out somehow. And they find out that she has made several trips, journeys to a certain location, a certain area of Highway 105, South Perry Park Road. And this is in Douglas County, Colorado. They had put a tracker on her rental car at some point, and at this point, as soon as they knew what rental car she had, they put a tracker on it. I don't know if T thought that's what may happen or not. See, when you rent cars, most of them have some kind of GPS on them, because you know some people don't return them or steal them, and they can find out where you are. But they normally don't unless you give them a reason to. So somehow they managed to put a tracker on the car just to see where she goes, because I mean, this was only a few days, not even a day, and they already suspected her. She was not just only a person of interest, they suspected foul play. Because of her story she told, it set off red flags. Because she told different versions, all in one night, all in one day. So that's what they did. So I guess they didn't have to follow her personally in an unmarked car. They just put a tracker on her. But the thing is, with a tracker, you don't know exactly what she's doing, because you're not getting video or photos. You're just relying on an area. The area that she went, when they determined which area to look for whatever they were looking, is because they found blood in the garage. And then they went looking and found particle board located off of Highway 105 South Perry Park Road. And the DNA profile matched. How likely is that? And when she was in this area, she had no business being in the area. Now, in the first place, she said the reason why she was in this area was because she was looking for a bike for her husband for Valentine's Day. But what was her excuse being in that area again and at nighttime? and they found this evidence that had Gannon's DNA on it. As we know, on the 27th of January, Gannon stayed at home from school. And based on messages from Leticia to Al, Leticia was up most of Sunday evening with stomach problems. In the evening. So when did the candle incident happen? But Gannon was up supposedly most of the night too. So he had stomach problems. Now we know why he had stomach problems was because he was all upset. I'm not sure how many times Gannon had stomach problems. But when you are extremely stressed, nervous, you will get stomach problems. A lot of people get sick. People get headaches. You know, their body reacts to stress differently. So I'm thinking his stomach problems were caused by anxiety and stress and nervousness. The candle, there's pictures out there of the candle. It looks like it's a porcelain jar of some kind with a candle. It looks like a real candle, and it has wax on the carpet. But we don't know about why it was burning. It doesn't look like the carpet was burned. And a lot of people say if you knock over a candle and there's some wax in it and it's melted and it's hot, it will put out the flame as it falls. It's like blowing out a candle. The wax will put out the flame most of the time. And like I said, most carpets these days have some kind of fireproof material in them, so they just don't ignite. So I'm not sure where the fire came from. Like, for instance, when the police, now she said T was Googling how to get the smell out of smoke out your house, or humidifier, or some kind of device to get rid of the smoke, the smell of smoke, the smoldering, the smell. But that can't be, because like I said in my another video, if your house, if he's in the basement and it's open basement, open concept, it's no doors, you just go down the stairs like you would, like if you're in a house, you have stairs to go upstairs or downstairs. So it's kind of like that. The carpet burnt downstairs in the basement in his bedroom. Well, that means the whole house, it must have been real bad for it to smell the whole house out. Was it that bad? No, it couldn't have been that bad. It didn't happen. It just didn't happen. Because when the police came at 10 o'clock at night, they said that there was no smell of a fire. In fact, it smelt of something else, like, you had burning a candle or something, but not smoke. They did not. And if you've ever had a fire in your house or been by a bonfire, you will smell a little bit of smoke, right? Well, your house will smell of it, and it's hard to get rid of a smell like that. It's like burnt toast or something, or burnt popcorn. It will linger in your house for hours. The only way to get rid of it is open all your windows and air your house out. So the fire part, I can't understand. That's just got to be another lie. Another lie. But I've also read or heard Elle's brother say that is true. There was a fire. That is true. There was a fire. Who told you that? Did somebody just tell you that, but you never see it with your own eyes? They just told you that to, spread rumors or just put people off the track? I just don't know about the fire. And when the police came, I don't think they looked where the fire was. Did they? Did they look at burnt carpet? Because they said they did not smell any smoke in that house when they were questioned later. And so that's the part about the fire and the candle. And, she came up with an excuse not to go to work. She didn't know that she didn't have a job to go to. The school district didn't get in touch with her, yet they say they tried and she never answered her phone. This means they never left her a message to say, "We're sorry, but this is not working out. We're sorry, but your application didn't match up. Or you need to send us such and such information." So the school district didn't give her the message. Another thing, Leticia was expecting to go to work on Monday. Then she uses the excuse why she's not going to work is because Gannon is sick. And she also looks up, can a child stay at home by himself? I just find that a little odd for her to look up, would 11-year-old be able to stay by himself? Why would you look that up? You could make your own decision whether to let this child stay by himself or not. Is he responsible enough to not touch nothing, to stay put, do not answer the door, stay in the home, do not go out to play? Is he responsible enough? That's what you have to figure out and know. Well, she didn't know this. But with Gannon knocking over the candle and setting fire to the carpet, so she says, maybe I wouldn't leave a child on his own in case he lit the candles and set the house on fire. Just saying. But that's not really what it was about anyway. The candle holder, there's a picture of it and it looks dark or black one side. I don't know if it's a shadow or if that is a burn. It's charred. But I don't know how that would possibly happen, but maybe it's just a shadow. I don't know. But how would a candle holder burn like that and get charred, get black, discolored, and the carpet not go into flames? Or the couch go up in flames because it's right next to the couch. How did this candle get in the position it was? Okay, there's the couch there. You can see a part of a couch. Where was this candle? And why it ended up in that position and not burn the couch, but burn the carpet, so she says. I'm still not convinced there was ever a fire. An actual fire. And if it was that bad of a smoke and a smell, why the fire detectors didn't go off? Because a fire detector detects smoke. And there has to be fire smoke detectors everywhere in your home, especially if you're renting. And everybody has to have them now anyway. You'd be a fool if you didn't. And it's a brand new house. A brand new house. Nobody's ever lived in this home before, apparently. They are the first people to rent this home. Whether the owners lived in it before or not, these T and L were the first people to rent this home. So Gannon was marked with an excuse for that day. She did call the school up and leave a message. She did message her job via text message at 37 minutes to 5 in the morning. And we know her famous excuse that her stepfather was hit by a car and was unable to make it to her job. Now, why would she make an excuse like that up? She just said that Gannon was sick. He was having stomach problems. She texts Elle. He's up most of the evening. Why didn't you just say, my son is sick. He's been up all night and he's got stomach problems. Why didn't you just say the same thing that you told Elle? No, she has to come up with this fantastic, elaborate event that did really happen. So, this excuse she used was true, because it did happen. He did die by a car accident when a car hit him along a road while he was walking back in 2004. So we've been over that before, but they just go back and forth on this story a little bit and add a little bit more. They have electronic evidence such as time and date stamped photographs, but the photographs in this report, they are scanned and they're in black and white, and they're not very good. But it's documentation purposes only. So when they do go to court, they will have original photographs. But the some of the actual photos are out there in the public domain now. The candle and Gannon in his bed. I mean, like the actual photograph where you can see the whole picture. And the picture, I'll just go over the picture. It's just weird. Well, it's not weird as in weird, but he's sleeping, but in a weird position. Plus, the blanket that's over him is very, very loose blanket. It's not that heavy. It's not very thick, and when it's on him, you know, you can see a slight outline of the blanket on him, and then it just flattens down on the sides, you know, because there's nothing there but a mattress. But once you get past down the torso, he looks like his legs might be bent up a little bit and not real straight. So when you get past his feet, there's this big bundle. Now that is way out of place because the blanket should be flat, just like it is at the side of him. But it's not. And what it looks like to me is, well, this is my opinion when I first saw it. When I see the black and white picture, I thought, why is it all bundled up like that? Because you couldn't really see much, but a bundle. And I thought, that's weird how you would sleep like that. Now we look at the actual picture in the light. You can see the outline of what I think, and probably many others are thinking the same thing, because something has to be under that blanket, and it's in the shape of a suitcase or a box of some kind. There is something underneath the blanket, and that is for sure. because a blanket wouldn't lay like that. It would be flat. And Gannon is laying propped up with two pillows. And I just observed that, you know how we lay on two pillows, that you know those two pillows aren't going to be, your head's not going to be perfect on them pillows, or they are going to be moved by the morning time. They're not going to be perfect. Now the pillow seems to be too perfect for my liking, like staged, if you want to put it that way. That's just my opinion. That's just what I'm observing. Staged. Now there's sheets on the mattress, but I don't see any blood. But I observed his hands. Now when you're sleeping, if you lay on your side, like that picture, if you lay on your side and you put your hands over to your right and just relax them, close your eyes and relax a minute, your fingers will kind of lay flat, right? They're not contorted. They're not like one finger up, one finger down, one finger bent. Like you are in pain or something and you squeeze your fingers together. Now your fingers should be relaxed. Now I observed his hand and I thought, how does one that is sleeping, apparently sleeping, allegedly sleeping, how does his fingers look like that? If you do it yourself, and then just do it yourself and see, look at the picture and then put your fingers like that and then relax, your fingers will be relaxed. Now it's quite possible, I hate to say it, but we're just having an opinion here and our theories, that this boy was dying. He was dying. His body was going through something, pain. But it's just a picture, and the pictures can say 1,000 things. It's just a picture that could have been just snapped and his hands were like that for that snap of that picture. So that's just my look into things in that picture, in that light. I mean, we know that, well, we say we know it looked like him, but even the police aren't even 100% that it was even Gannon walking into that truck that day. But their conflicting investigation is in question right now, because he had to, we say he had to have got into that truck because we say we see him. We see somebody, and it wasn't his sister because she got on the school bus, so they say. Also, T says it's Gannon getting in the truck. Coming back, we don't really see him get out the truck, but we have a vision of him getting out the other side through movements and shadows. And even the detectives say likely came home or did come home, but they're still not 100% if he came home. But they say in the next breath he's likely killed between the time she got home and before his sister got home from school. Which is it? But this is just their first report. And they're going to have to prove some of their charges. Otherwise, the judge will not allow it. The judge can throw out anything he likes if he doesn't feel that there's enough evidence for a trial, or for this case to go forward, or that she doesn't get any kind of bond. I mean, it's probably not likely, but you never know. It's not 100% yet. She's only been charged. She's innocent until proven guilty in the court of law. So she has all the innocence right now. And the prosecutor's job in the courtroom is to prove her guilty. Of course, we all know that. So anything is possible. But she's told so many different stories, it doesn't look good. She's spoken to so many people. But when she was talking to people, I mean, the parts I've listened to, it's not incriminating. It's just talk. It's just talk. It's not incriminating. But you shouldn't talk to strangers, and you shouldn't talk to your family. You should just keep things to yourself. But she likes to talk, and she likes to tell stories, and she likes to have imaginary visitors. I don't know, but she's got quite an imagination, if you ask me. But the thing is, why, this is the big question, why make up so many stories when you could have kept to one story and it would have been plausible? Like, the only thing really you should have said was he went out to play, went to a friend's house, and I went to that friend's house because she must know where this friend's house is. She could have went to the friend's house, knocked on the door and said, is Gannon here? Because, you know, it's dark now, it's late. I need him home. And she would have had the proof, some evidence that she went looking for him. I mean, she could have done it as simple as that. Even if there was no evidence of a video of him outside leaving the house playing, but she could have just done that part and not made up this story about all these men and not one trace of them coming into the house. But she keeps on about the gate key, the key to the gate. Now, did this person slip through the gate where no camera can catch them? Like sneak in? Possible. I doubt it, but possible. So she just goes on like that. Now, they go on to some images, which are the ones I just talked about. And those images of Gannon in the bed were taken at 8:13 in the morning. And at 17 minutes past 8 in the morning of January the 27th. That's him laying in the bed. And they say his Nintendo Switch, a small video game console, is visible in the photo lying next to him on his bed. It's very visible. But the picture that I'm looking at, I don't see it. Do you see it? What color is it? But they say it's visible, so is this picture the right picture? Is this picture the picture of him at 8:13 and 8:17? Is this staged pictures? Pictures taken in the morning and then staged later in the day? And it's not there anymore? And she used the pictures to get another picture, seen it, photograph the scene again with pictures she took earlier, if you know what I mean. I don't know. I mean, where is the Nintendo game? The console. So, not everything is always as it seems. Why did she have to take a picture of Gannon in bed, sleeping? For Elle? To send to Elle? To send to his mother? Reason. There's a reason. Elle wanted photos of Gannon a lot. And I'm beginning to think there's a reason for it, because he never trusted her. There's something odd about what's going on, and he knew it. He knew she was fed up. He knew she didn't want to take care of him. He knew they were getting abused, or that's what you call it, neglected, abused, tortured, whatever, alleged. But I'm just saying, he had his suspicions something wasn't right. Look how quick he got on that plane. He got on that plane pretty fast. So they say the Nintendo Switch is visible next to him. And he wasn't supposed to have that game. He wasn't supposed to have that game, playing with that game. And this is why his dad texted him that the day after saying he couldn't play. Well, something must have happened earlier that he wasn't meant to be playing with that game. For him to say, no, you cannot, not today. See, we don't have all the texts and information and conversations going on between why Gannon couldn't play a game, he was grounded, he had been naughty, he's done something wrong. We don't have all that information to put the puzzle together, what was really going on and what he was getting punished for and why he got punished for it. What did he do? There was one statement that I heard Elle said that he has to earn technology privileges. He has to earn it. Well, when you do something wrong and you play with something and you haven't done something to earn it, you don't get to play with it. So I guess there was some rules set up about it. And I don't think Leticia's used to taking care of these kids full time. Remember the babysitter? She had a babysitter. Now I said that I like to know how many hours this babysitter did and for what reason. Was the babysitter there to take care of the kids when they come home from school? Was she there to babysit while her and Elle went out in the evenings to social events? I haven't heard anything about them going out to social events, but that probably will come out. We don't really know anything about their private life, what their schedules were like when they were home together, except Leticia did work and Al did 12-hour shifts, or he did very long hours, and he was deployed and he was sent off training excursions to other states. We know that. It's a military life. People think military life is glamour. It's not. You're very isolated and you get lonely, I guess. You're left on your own to take care of kids because they're off doing training for the military. That's their job. So just expect to be on your own a lot. And that's why many marriages and affairs happen. Because you're left alone and can't be trusted. And then they talk about her phone again on the 28th, 2020, at or around 12:57, conducted a Google search. And this is when T, on the 28th of January, search, can Nintendo find my Switch? Can my Nintendo find my Switch? So, was the Switch lost? Was it lost? Now, this was on the 28th at 12:57 hours. Now, the detective did say that Leticia took Gannon's body to Douglas County in the evening. But she searched this very early in the day. Well, this was because she had taken her car and put it in the temporary parking structure while she rented the car, and she parked it there, and this is probably where Gannon's body was, in a suitcase in the back of her trunk. So she's already thinking that the police might be able to trace him with this game, because apparently he has it on him all the time, like the key, or he's the only one with the key. So she really does Google search some nonsense, right? It's not really nonsense, but there's a reason for the search that she made on Google, because she couldn't find that switch, and it's on him somewhere. It's wrapped in a sheet somewhere. Whatever's in that suitcase. We assume it's a suitcase because we know now that he's found in a suitcase, but that's what they say. Could have been found in a box before I know, because you know it's sealed information. The crime scene is sealed, but as we know, suitcases have been bought up. Cardboard box has been bought up, so we don't know that for sure. It's just our theories and opinions, and likely to be so. And so this is another reason why she Googled it. But then I heard that it was found. So it quite easily could have been found, because she'd gone and got Gannon again, and she probably had to look for it amongst whatever Gannon's in, the blankets, the sheets, a box. She had to look for it, and she probably found it, and then just threw it down the basement or something. I don't know. I heard that they've got it. They found it. But you know, this Nintendo didn't come with a tracking ability, so that was okay. So I'm not sure if it was found. It's still missing. People say it's been found, but in the report it says it's missing. You know, and plus the police were hoping this switch device might help them track Gannon, because they're thinking he's a runaway right now. So they were thinking on the lines that, yeah, this might help. But it didn't. But Leticia was searching it for a different reason. And allegedly. Now we know about the neighbor's camera, what he picked up on the vehicles. We kind of know what the ADT security system installed in the home. that's been discussed with the movements going on that day, other days, how much movement was going on the 27th compared to other days. One thing I was just wondering is the day of the fire. Now, the police said there wasn't a lot of movement going on. Other days. But on the 27th, there was a lot of movement going on. Up and down, up and down, up and down, doors opening and shutting. But the day of the fire and the smoke, there wasn't a lot of things going on. Now, you would think that you'd be really moving, doing something. If there was a fire, there's smoke, you'd be doing a lot of movement. But there wasn't. Compared to the 27th. So compare the 26th movement to the 27th. It seems like there's a lot of difference. And you think there would be a lot of movement on the 26th because everybody's home. Everybody's home. And there was a fire. Just saying. Just comparing it because the mind boggles. Also talks about her phone use. Say her phone use between January the 25th, 2020 at 8 o'clock in the morning and January the 29th, 2020 at 1100 hours, so 11 o'clock, revealed Leticia spent approximately 10.7 hours over these few days. Between the 25th and the 29th, she spent about 10.7 hours on Facebook Messenger alone. Just on Facebook. She shut her phone off, or they call it locked, at 9:56, just about nearly 10 o'clock in the morning on the 27th. She didn't open her phone or switch it on until 14:45 in the afternoon, and that was not until 25 to 30 minutes after she had got home. And they say this is very odd because she is always on her phone 24/7. Well, I wonder how many other times she shut her phone off or left it at home, switched it off. Does she do that a lot, or that never happens? And they just go into the message to Harley from Gannon's phone. We've been through that. They talk about Petco, and the Petco she went to was located on 5020 North Nevada Avenue, Colorado Springs, Colorado. And that is about 22 miles from her home and around a 30-minute so drive. That's based on Google search, traffic, and that you don't take the long way around and get lost and take diversions and go the scenic route. And they say, you know, she was in Petco and she was cashing out at 11:22 in the morning, which she was on camera, and then she was seen again at 13:22 in the afternoon at the cash register, cashing out again. In between that, there was a phone call, a answered message, a text back to Elle. She was in the store cashing out at 22 after 1 o'clock in the afternoon. But this message was sent 21 minutes after 1 o'clock. So we want to know, was it Leticia sending this message, looking at the message and sending the message back to Elle, or was it Gannon? Surveillance video in the store shows Leticia at the cash register at 22 after. It must have caught her waiting in line to cash out. We want to know if it can see her on a phone, because if you can see her on the phone, it was her returning the call to Elle. Now, we don't know if the police have that actual surveillance of her on the phone, messaging, texting. They may have it. They may not. She might have been out of shot. But we'll see. It's possible that they may have seen her, but she wasn't on a phone. If she wasn't on the phone at 21 minutes after 1 o'clock that afternoon on the 27th, then somebody else made that text to Elle. And but who do we know who it was? Who was in the truck? Who had Gannon's phone? It's just something to think about. And you know, they've got a lot of things that are sealed in the investigation, and that could be one of them. And that will be used to prove her a liar. And at around 43 minutes to 2 in the afternoon, 13:43 hours, which is a little bit before she returned home, a good 40 minutes, there was another internet search. Can my parent find my cell phone if it's off? There is something else. We know Elle messaged around just after 12 o'clock the afternoon, 12:06. And Elle sent the text, "Hey, buddy." And this message was not answered until 13:21. Well, T was in Petco. And the response, she read the message, "Hey buddy," and then responded with, "Can I play Zelda at least?" And Elle said, "Not today." But when she got out and drove a little way, there was another message, 13:43. 43 minutes to 2. There was an internet search. Can my parent find my cell phone? Right, I just said that a minute ago, but the thing is, I'm just backtracking. Remember when she got out of Petco and she went down the road or somewhere and suddenly Quincy Brown appeared in front of her truck and lay on the floor. She stops. She stops and he gets into her truck and said, "Take me to your home." But at 13:43, she was not worried about Quincy Brown in her truck. She did an internet search for "Can my parent find my cellular phone?" Yeah, while the kidnapper's in your car and you're all scared, and she's making a Google search. Yeah. But we know it wasn't Quincy Brown. Well, we know that it was not the most wanted man in Colorado. But that's what she said while she's making a Google search. So I'm thinking she probably did stop her vehicle. She did stop. She stopped and did something. And then she made the search. Yeah, she stopped her vehicle and did something. We don't know what she was doing, but she did something. And the investigators say that it was likely Leticia making these searches and not Gannon. So if they say this was likely her doing it and not Gannon, then the messages sent while she was in Petco must have been her too, because she had the phone. If these messages were made, then more likely she was on the phone in Petco messaging Elle back. The two and two go together, right? More likely.